You know, ever since I did a books versus films on Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, I referred to the Universal movies as the first reincarnation of Mary Shelley's famous tale. Boy, was I wrong. In fact, before the Boris Karloff movie made its iconic debut in 1931, there was another Frankenstein movie made in 1910. Yeah, who would have thought that this would exist? Well, believe it or not, this was known as a lost film at the time until someone found a copy of the movie and revised it from its grave. But the biggest question is it even worth finding? Well, let's find out. We open with a title card that says Frankenstein leaves for college, and sure enough, we see Frankenstein leaving for college. Thus, we get to the biggest issue of this movie. I would have been fine if they would have gave us title cards that show us what the characters are saying, but no, they don't give us any dialogue whatsoever, and they just tell us what the scene is, followed by the characters playing out said scene. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the point of a movie to show, not tell? If that's really the case, then why are you showing and telling us at the same time? It kind of feels like that moment where the kindergarten teacher just reads a book and then they have to show you the illustrations afterwards. Yeah, imagine that, but set to motion picture. The movie is nothing more and nothing less than an abridged version of the Mary Shelley novel. Compared to the book covers a larger portion of the story, seeing that it's telling 3 stories all at the same time. In this version, however, we only get to see how Frankenstein's monster was created, which is something I don't mind seeing in a Frankenstein movie, but it mostly shows Frankenstein's point of view instead of the monster's. Why is that? The Universal movies and the Hammer movies both show that Frankenstein's monster is a sympathetic and misunderstood creature that is curious about the world. Why can't this movie show that? Oh, and do you really want to know the strangest way to resurrect a dead body from the grave? Throw in a bunch of chemicals in a pot and see a skeleton magically reappear. Yeah, you don't really need any logical explanation for all this. Just throw a bunch of chemicals in the oven and create your own zombie with zombie mix. Just add water. So, as you will expect, the monster comes back to life and starts wreaking havoc on Frankenstein. And as far as the other Frankenstein monster designs go, this one is by far the worst one out of the bunch. Seriously, it looks like if Quasimodo from Hunchback of Notre Dame had a bad hair day. The only positive I can give about this movie is that it has some of the most interesting special effects for the time being. Here we see the monster looking at his own reflection for the mirror, only for the monster to disappear in the next shot. Even though we have the luxury of editing softwares nowadays, this effect is pretty impressive. And considering that this took frame by frame to do, I have to give serious kudos to the film editors. It was totally worth it just to see this scene alone. Considering the time period that this movie was made in, it would be a pretty unfair statement to say that this movie sucks. I can see why it has a significant impact on cinema, but it really isn't my cup of tea. So, there you have it. That is my opinion on the Frankenstein movie from 1910. So anyway, guys, Hang
on just a minute there. You call that a special?
Well, sure, it was a movie that no one has ever heard about.
No. No. Monster Madness already did a quick review of this years ago. You're not getting off on this lightly.
But at least I gave my own opinion instead of plagiarizing on the Cinemassacre reviews. Unlike some other people I know. Irate gamer.
I don't care. You need to do a lot more than just this for a Halloween special review. As a matter of fact, come to think of it, you mentioned, Hammer Studios before. Public domain.